Hello students, welcome back to Electrical Science 1 course. In the last class, we studied about different types of electrical circuit elements. What is an electrical circuit? How the voltage source or current source are responsible for the flow of electrical current in a circuit, and how the resistors can be connected in series and parallel. In this lecture, we will have a review on the voltage source and current sources. Let us analyze difference between ideal voltage source and practical voltage source, ideal current source and practical current source. So if you can see in the figure, an ideal voltage source is the one which will give a constant voltage to the load irrespective of the current drawn from the supply. Whether the current is a positive current or the current is a negative current, it is going to draw infinite amount of current from the source to load without any decrease in the voltage. Note that ideal voltage source will have a zero internal resistance. When we'll see the practical voltage source, we will come to know what is internal resistance. So an ideal voltage source is the one which will give whatever the current you want to be supplied to the load at a constant voltage. It can be represented for a DC voltage source with plus and minus, and V indicates the voltage across the 2 points A and B. If it is an ideal AC voltage source, we will have a sinusoidal symbol in between plus and minus, and it is represented by V of t. If it is a battery, it is represented as a battery symbol with plus and minus. So if you have an ideal voltage source available in real time, we can draw infinite amount of power from the source to load. We no need to go for these many voltage, different types of generating stations. So practically, we don't have a voltage source which will give constant voltage irrespective of current drawn from the source. Coming to ideal current source. An ideal current source is the one which will give the constant current to the load irrespective of whatever might be the voltage across the load. So the voltage might be a positive value or voltage might be a negative value. It is going to give constant current to the load. So ideal current source has infinite internal resistance. And a current source is represented by a circle which indicated arrow. Arrow direction indicates the current direction. Okay, so when I will say the arrow up, the current is leaving from a node and coming back to node B. AC current source is represented by a circle with arrow symbol. In the circle, we will have a sinusoidal symbol. And as AC current is changing with respect to time, it is represented by I of t. Coming to practical voltage source. Practically, a ideal voltage source is a one which can give infinite amount of current for a given load. But in practical, we'll have a small internal resistance in series with the ideal voltage source, which will be responsible for decrease in the voltage as we increase the current drawn across the load. What will happen? Ideally, whatever the current you draw, the voltage across the load remains same. But practically, as the amount of current you draw from the voltage across the load starts decreasing because this portion of the voltage will be dropped in internal resistance. So to make a practical voltage source very much similar to ideal voltage source, the internal resistance should be as minimum as possible. Okay, so we have to model a voltage source. Definitely a voltage source will have internal resistance. We should ensure that the internal resistance is very minimum so that less amount of power will be wasted in internal resistance. So how to represent a practical voltage source? Draw an ideal voltage source. In series, you connect one small internal resistance. Coming to practical current source. A practical ideal current source is the one which will give a constant current irrespective of whatever the load. But in practical, as the load increases, the amount of current supplied to the load decreasing. So we should have a two paths. One path is internal resistance path, another is a load resistance path. So what will happen when the load increases, overall current will increases, the amount of current supplied to internal resistance also increases, the amount of the current supplied to load decreases. So how to represent a practical current source is draw a ideal current source. In parallel to ideal current source, you draw a internal resistance. If the internal resistance is infinity, no current will flow through the internal resistance. Entire current is applied to the load voltage. So how to convert a practical current source to ideal current source? You make your internal resistance infinity. But in practical, the internal resistance should be as high as possible so that only a part of the current is flowing in internal, remaining part of the current is available at the load. So whenever the voltage across the load increases, you can see this part of the current is utilized by internal resistance. Only this part of the current is available across the load. So if you take, like, let us take 10 amperes, when the current drawn is increased across the load, 2 amperes will be dissipated or flow through the internal resistance. Only 8 amperes is available across the load. As you keep on increasing the load, you will find at one particular position that no current is flowing through the load, entire current is getting dissipated or else flowing through the internal resistance. So practical current source is represented by a ideal current source in parallel with the internal resistance. So ideal current source internal resistance is infinity, practical current source will have a certain value. Now, how we can combine more than one voltage source? So whenever you take a two batteries or two voltage source, there are two ways of combining the voltage source, whether they are aiding with each other or they are opposing with each other. So if at all the two voltage sources are joined with a proper polarity, then the voltages will get aid to each other. Let us take a simple example. There is one voltage source of 2 volts. That means this point is at 2 volts with respect to ground. Now, if at all add another voltage source of 2 volts, so that minus is connected to plus and then plus. So 2 plus 2 will get added. Totally, we will have a 4 volts. So what is the additive polarity? Plus of one battery is connected to minus of another battery. So it is like you are at a ground level. After climbing one hill, you have reached 10 meters. Then once again, you have climbed the hill another 10 meters. Then total meters you have climbing from the sea level is 20 meters. For example, you have reversed the polarity. Initially, you have climbed 10 meters. After that, you got down by 10 meters. Then the net potential, net height with respect to sea level will become 0. So when they are connected in proper polarity, the two voltage sources can be replaced with a single voltage source whose voltage is V1 plus V2. Let us analyze this with a simple example. Here you can see A point to B point. So VAB is 5 volts, and then from B to C, VBC is minus 3 volts. When I want the height or potential difference between A to C, so they are connected in proper polarity. Minus is connected to plus. So obviously the formula will become V1 plus V2. So what is the value of V1? 5. And what is the value of V2? Minus 3. 5 minus 3, the voltage between A to C is 2 volts. Here, the voltages are connected in negative polarity, but you can see the voltage V1 is a positive value, voltage V2 is a negative value. So what is the equation is V1 minus V2. What is V1? 5 volts, and minus of V2 is minus 3 volts. So totally you are going to get 8 volts. So whenever a positive and negative sign is given, for example, then we will say this is 2 volts. It is almost all equivalent to minus to plus minus 2 volts. Both are same. Whenever you will have a negative value, actually, whenever B is at lesser potential compared to C, VBC, VCB will become 3 volts, VBC will be minus 3 volts. So, can we connect two different voltage sources in parallel? Here, there are 2 points. We are saying that A point is at 3 volts higher with respect to B point. And the same way, this 5 is also connected between A and B. You are saying another way, A is at -5 volts with respect to B. So we are saying that the distance between the 2 points, one way you are saying it is plus 3 meters, some way you are saying it is minus 3 meters. So which is not possible. So you cannot connect two different voltage sources of different values in parallel. Okay, so it will result into internal leakage current, or else it may result into mal operation, and finally there will be no voltage coming out of the circuit. So what is the summary of this slide is, whenever there are more than one voltage source connected in series, we can replace with its equivalent voltage source, and the value is equal to either V1 plus V2 or V1 minus V2 depending upon the type of their connection. Second point, the two voltage sources of different values cannot be connected in parallel. Combining the current sources. If at all, more than one current source are connected in parallel to each other, we can replace this with a single current source. The value of the current source depends upon how the two current sources are added. If the I1 and I2 both are in upward direction, we can replace that with single current source with upward direction, and magnitude of current is I1 plus I2. Let us analyze if there is a 5 amps current source connected in parallel with other 5 amps current source. This sort of connection will help whenever the load requires 10 amperes, but your current source can give only 5 amperes. So I'll bring one more other 5 amperes current source so that I can get totally 10 amperes to the load. So 5 plus 5, we can replace this with one current source of 10 amperes. You take the second case where there is a one current source in upward direction, there is another current source in a downward direction. So what will be the resultant when there are two forces which are opposite to each other? Finally, the displacement of a mass will be in the direction where there are forces higher. So F1 is pushing a vehicle in forward direction, F2 is pushing a vehicle in the backward direction. Resultant force on that will be F1 minus F2, and displacement will be in the direction of F1. In the same way, the direction of current source, equivalent current source, depends upon which is having a higher value. So 5 is greater than 3, so the current direction will be upward direction, and the magnitude is, because they are opposite to each other, okay, 5 minus 3, that is 2 amperes. Now the question arises, can we connect current sources of different magnitude in series? What is a series circuit? If at all the current flowing through the circuit is same, then only we can say it as series. So we are violating basic principle of that. In a series circuit, current should be same. So we cannot say in a same circuit which is in series, you are saying 10 amperes is flowing as well as 5 amperes. Never think that the two equivalent current is 10 plus 5 or 10 minus 5. You cannot connect two different current sources in series to each other. Okay, so the summary of the slide is, whenever there are more than one current source connected in parallel, we can replace with the equivalent current source. The equivalent value depends upon the current direction of current sources. If current direction of both the current sources are same, we will add both the current values. If one direction is opposite to other direction, we will subtract the currents. And second point is that we cannot add two current sources of different magnitude in series to each other. Having learned about what is a voltage source and what is a current source, whenever voltage is applied across series of resistors connected, then we have learned in a previous lecture that voltage get divided. Now, how to identify, how to indicate the voltage drop across a resistor? Generally, the current entering point is denoted by a positive voltage symbol across the resistor, and current leaving point is denoted by negative. This is called positive sign convention, and the voltage drop across the resistance is represented by VR. So in other words, whenever current flows through a particular resistance, the entering point is denoted by plus sign and leaving point is denoted by minus sign, and a particular voltage will be dropped across the resistance. That voltage drop is given by I into R. You can take the first example. The voltage across the resistance is 2 volts and current is entering a positive value. So the current is equal to V by R, that is 2 by 250. Therefore, it is 8 milliamperes. In the second case, we are also saying that the current is entering a plus and leaving minus. So we can consider it as a current and this is the voltage. So what will be the resistance? V by I is equal to R. But resistance is always positive value. When current magnitude is negative, what you are going to get is I is equal to, sorry, V is equal to I into R, that is 10 kilo ohms into 20 microamperes. Okay. So resultant you will get minus 0.2 volts, which indicates that this point is at higher potential with respect to this one. Before going to KCL, KVL, we have to analyze the circuit definitions. So an electrical circuit is interconnection of circuit elements. So there should be at least one active element so that which will be responsible for the flow of current. Now, whenever more than one circuit element join or else more than two circuit elements are joined at a junction, that particular junction is called as a node. So node is a junction in an electrical circuit where more than two or more than two circuit elements are connected together. Generally, the resistance of a wire is neglected and ground is taken as a reference potential. So always the potential of a ground is considered as a 0 volts because a ground or else your earth is a good conductor of electricity. The potential of the earth is considered as a 0. Next, what is a branch? A branch indicates the circuit element between the two nodes. Okay, the number of branches in a circuit is equal to number of elements which are connected between the two nodes. Then what is a loop? If you start from one node, traveling to other nodes, and then come back to the same node, so that no node is encountered more than once, then it is called as a loop. So if you write a loop in terms of nodes, A, you are starting from A, traveling to B, from B to C, and then A, then this is considered as a loop. Okay, so the node and loop plays a very important role in KCL and KVL. Therefore, we need to be clear about node and loop. Let us understand or identify how many number of nodes, branches, and loops are present in this circuit. So generally we can say this is the first node wherein voltage source and resistor are connected. And the people will always get confused. We can see there is a node which is connecting R1 and R2. They will think that this is also another node which is a joining R2, R3 and V0, and this can be considered as another node and this can be considered as another node. This is wrong. Why this is wrong is because until unless you encounter with any one of the circuit elements, entire wire or connection of wires can be considered as a node. So I will redraw the same circuit so that you can understand. Let us take this is your Vs and this is your R1. Instead of connecting like this, I will connect this as R2 and I'll join R3 is between point A and point B. R3 and current source Is. Now you can say clearly there is one node here, another node over here. So there are only three nodes. First node joining Vs and R. This entire connection of wires can be joined together with, if at all given a practically with your hands, and all these wires at the ground level can be connected together. So it is having three nodes. Let us we can identify this as node A, this is node B, then this is node C. And then how many branch elements are there? Obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 branch elements. Okay, in the 5 branch elements, 2 elements are active elements, that is voltage source and current source. 3 branch elements are a passive elements, that is resistor 1, resistor 2 and resistor 3. How many loops are there? We can start from node A and node B and node C. But you can encounter with respect to Vs, R2, R1, R2 and Vs. This is one loop. In the same way, you can start from Vs and go through R1 and come back to Vs. That is second loop possible. And similarly, you can take Vs, travel through R1 and then travel to Is and then come back to Es. So there are 3 loops possible in the particular circuit. So with this, I'll end this lecture. In the upcoming lecture, we'll study about Kirchhoff current law and Kirchhoff voltage law, how we can apply these two laws in an electrical circuit to solve the problems.